Art Studio over in England, and she is really the one who is a fantastic teacher of this method. I am a student of hers. So this is her technique that she has taught me and continues to teach me to this day. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just do a little underpainting here. I want to use a lean medium. This is all in oils. A lean medium. Now, Marion, she uses a product called Zest It. It's readily available in the UK where she's at. It's not so much here in the United States. So, at her suggestion, she told me to mix some paint thinner and some linseed oil, and for this underpainting. And I have worked with it a little bit, and I started off with a 50-50 mixture. It just dried way too quick for me. I'm not that fast. I finally hit upon about 65% oil to 35% alcohol. Seems to work for me. So if you're looking to do an underpainting and can't get Zest It, give this a try. So anyways, let's start this thing off. I'm gonna, as you saw, I have my paint on the palette. Now I'm gonna just put some medium out here because I want to thin this down. I just want to thin this baby down. Quite honestly, I'm probably not going to be talking all the way through this thing because I just don't have that much to say. I'm not that interesting. Okay, I got a real expensive brush here. I think you can get them for like $1.19 at Home Depot. It's just a chip brush, a 2-inch chip brush. I'm going to pull some of that paint and that medium together, and I'm going to get a consistency that I like. That's not watery thin, but thin. Okay. All right, I have my brush loaded up. Now let's go up here, and I'm just going to start scrubbing this burnt umber in. That's all I'm doing. Just going to scrub this burnt umber in. Now, this drawing that I have on here, came from here. Once I had it on the canvas, I just lightly fixed it to the canvas with hairspray. Just some cheap hairspray. That's all you really need. And you spray that, let it dry. And I like to do 2 coats. I don't think everybody does 2 coats. I do. And because I lost my drawing once, and that was no fun. That was no bueno. No bueno at all. That project got started completely over. And so that hairspray will fix that graphite to the canvas. So you're a lot less likely to wipe it out when you're doing this. Okay. Now I really want to get it down into the weave of this canvas. I don't want it just sitting on the surface. I want it down in that weave. Yeah, if you'd like to learn this technique, I would highly recommend Marion Dutton, Art Studios. You can, I think it's www.mazartstudio.com. Pretty sure that's it. You can also search Art Studios on YouTube, and she has some free videos there, and there are some courses that you pay for, but I'm going to tell you this, 100% not lying. Every lesson or course I have ever paid for, 100% worth the money. 100%. No regrets. No thinking, oh man, did I really get my money's worth? Yeah, I got my money's worth. So, yeah. Okay. I just want to get that in there. It doesn't matter how you get it in there. You don't have to have nice, pretty brush strokes. I mean, as you can see, I'm scrubbing this sucker in. Now, this is a cheap old chip brush. Like I said, I think it's $1.19 at Home Depot. And I've used it for well over a year now. So guess what? It's getting 86'd. I'm not even going to bother to clean that. Alright, now I may have to stop at some point and go get some more paper towels. I didn't think about that. You go through a lot of paper towels on this. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is all that I just scrubbed on, I'm going to just remove the excess. Trash can's gonna have to get over here because I got it in a really bad spot. I moved stuff around just so I could try and get a decent shot. I mean, I'm doing this off of my iPhone, so just trying to get a decent shot at the canvas so you can see what I'm doing. And as you can see, at least I hope you can see, I don't have a monitor to see what you're seeing, but I hope you can see that my drawing is still here. It didn't come off. Okay, there we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. All right. Okay. Now the next thing that Marion always recommends. This mess that I made right here, that's my medium and my color, I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm really not going to be using any medium per se on the canvas from this point on. That should be everything that I need. Now I might use it just to kind of like remove an area that I want really, really, really highlighted. But let's see. We'll see, I don't know. Now I got that off. I'm gonna wipe that off of my palette. There we go. And where are my brushes? They're sitting back here. Figure out which brushes I want to use. It's always good to have an assortment. Okay. I'll just set those over there because I really don't need them quite at this moment. Now what I need to do is decide which is darker. Which is going to be darker, my background or my subject. And honestly, on this one, it's kind of a toss-up. Excuse me. Now, I'm not going to have a black background like this. What I'm going to have is like a sky. A sky with clouds, and there's going to be a cloud right down here that covers up her feet. And just kind of mists up over her wings. So it's kind of a toss-up. I'm probably going to keep the sky, the background, lighter. Even though her wings are going to be white, there's also going to be some grays and some blacks and blues and so forth in there. So I'm going to keep the background lighter. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to concentrate on the big picture. I'm going to think about what's lighter, what's darker. All we're doing. We're not real worried about any sort of colors right now. I'm not really worried about staying inside the lines at this point. As you can see, I got a lot of lines here. Not real worried about staying inside or outside of them at this point. Tell you what, it was chilly here today. Today is Christmas, 2020. Wow, what a year it's been. But man, here in Cincinnati, they said we were supposed to see a high of 21. The thermometer on my car never registered any higher than 18. I know some of you all that live out there like in Colorado and Wyoming and North or South Dakota. Probably sounds like a heat wave to you. Well, I'm telling you what, I about froze my giblets off. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. Really trying to get that lightened up. All right. We can work with that. I keep turning the wrong way to throw these paper towels away. You know what? That guy can go. I don't need any other paints. This guy can come right there. All right. Whew. I think we're going to figure it all out. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, another thing I'm going to need out here. Good supply of paper towels. Good supply of Q-tips. I got some flat brushes in that can over there. Actually, I think I see the brush I want to use. At least one of them. Sit that right there. I like using here. For this, I like using an angle brush quite a bit. But, you know, what you got to do is you got to find what works for you. So what works for me may not work for you, and that's all right. Okay, now I'm going to start taking some of this color here. You got to kind of look at the overall big picture. You're going to be able to differentiate between the inside and the outside here. I'm getting burnt umber all over my hands, and that's not good. That's no bueno. All right. Wipe off her hands a little bit. All right. And you'll see as you go along, it's like, that needs to lighten up. Oh, I need to darken that up, and we will darken up some areas. That's what that second pile of burnt umber is, and there's no medium that gets used with it. Just straight out of the tube, burnt umber. The paint that I'm using for this is Gamblin. I thought it was Gamblin 1980, but it's not. It's actually the grade higher Gamblin. I actually got that for Christmas last year. This year I got some Winsor Newton Winton paints, and I started using those. Here and there, off and on, about 3 or 4 months ago. I really like them a lot. You notice I leave one area and I go to another and back and forth. That's okay, because I'm trying to look at the overall picture here and here. And so I'll see something. Oh, let me go over there and knock that out. Let's see. Some of that down, some of that down. There we go. Now her leg. Leg's going to have light right here. Never need it. We're going to have a bit of light hitting her right here. It's going to be dark under there. Yeah. There really is no right or wrong tool to use with this technique. If it works, use it. You know? Hey, well, I may have to lose those glasses. I usually have to use my reading glasses, so if I pull those out, just count it up, chalk it up to the fact that I'm old. All I'm using here, this is just a blending brush. If it looks like an old makeup brush, it's because it is, and these things work great. Okay. Let's try and see if we can differentiate with her wings here. Now, all these lines that are still left in here as I'm going along, it's really no real big deal because we're going to cover it up with the paint layer. The first and the second. And this may even possibly get a third. I never know. Color layer. Because after this is completely dry, I'll come in and I'll start adding thin color glazes. Basically just very thin layers of paint to bring this to life and color. Now I did this and my wife and I decided we wanted to keep it, but I did this one before, but we left it as this burnt umber underpainting. It gives it a sepia, or is it sepia? I don't know. But it gives it that that look, that feel. So, anyways, well, moving on. Now, I'm not going to get real too caught up in her feet. I want to see a little hint of them here, but honestly, I want that cloud to cover them. The reason being is her feet and hands are extremely hard. Even if you're trying to trace them, they never look right, ever. At least mine don't. So, you know, gotta do what you gotta do, right? Along the edge of her wings, I've got a light source. I'm imagining the light source coming from this direction onto her. And so this right here would be lit up. This over here would be lit up. Here on her wings. It would still be light, but it would still be in shadow. I mean, it'll be lighter than it is right now. But back here, where the wings kind of are back in this area and here, that will wind up being dark. Notice I'm not talking about color because at this point I really don't know. I'm going to have to study on that for a while after I see this thing, after I see it as an underpainting. Then kind of maybe make my decisions based on what it's looking like in the underpainting. I also tend to get my wife's opinion, and of course, since this is a commission piece, a lot of it is going to be the input of the client. Like I said, it's going to be darker on this edge and on this edge. So I'm just going to lighten up the pressure so I don't remove quite as much. At least that's the game plan. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out the way you think it should. Right in this area should be a little darkness to it. Now, in the corners, you know, the rule of thumb is that the corners need to be darker to draw the eye in, and we will take care of that. Excuse me. I'll hit the corners with a little bit of burnt umber and just kind of blend it in there. Blend it in. Okay. Now here I know it's going to be darker, but not quite that dark. And sometimes you gotta just like lean back, stop, take a look. A lot of times what I do is I'll take a picture of it with my camera and look at the picture on my phone. Seems to work. And since I can't do that, I'm looking at the picture right there. I'm looking at it. It gives you a different perspective. I've also heard people say, while you're painting, stop, flip your canvas upside down and then paint. It gives you a new perspective. I was like, I kind of get that. That kind of makes sense, really. I've never tried it, but I do this. So, I think she's coming along. We'll see here. I think, right down here, yeah, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this. I believe this feather should be lighter. sometimes these little corners, these little, like where it comes to a point here, is kind of hard to get to. I've got some paint erasers, varying varying shapes and sizes. So let's see if I can get a little bit of that out. Let's see. Okay, yeah, reading glasses. Oh, that's much more better. So if we take, now that's the thing with these paint erasers, they do exactly what they say. I don't know if you can see that, but that is really light. So I'm just going to take the best blender that God gave you, and that's your finger, and just kind of rub on that a little bit. There we go. I can live with that. And I can too. It's a little. All right. One thing about when you start one of these underpaintings, you're kind of in it till it's done. A lot of times in oil paintings, you know, you can put paint on the canvas and go out to lunch with your buddies and come back and keep going on it. Not so much something like this, especially since, yeah, I've got 65% oil in here, but I've also got 35% paint thinner, which makes it dry a whole lot quicker. Now, I still like to let mine dry. If I'm doing a regular landscape oil painting, I tell people, 2 weeks. I like to let these dry when I'm doing something like this. I like to let them dry for at least a minimum of 4 days between stages. And the stages are, you've got your drawing, your underpainting, your first color glaze, your second or final color glaze, and however many, you can glaze that thing as many times as you want. So, usually I find 2 color glazes and I'm pretty well done with it. So, this one might get 3 though. I have done some with 3 only because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put the background in first and let that dry and then move on to my subject. It's just the way I do things sometimes. Oh, I tell you what, Marion Dutton, she could do it all. She can do it all. I mean, she is seriously, hands down, favorite artist. My favorite. So, anyways, let's continue on here. See what we can do. I'm gonna sit back and stare at it for a minute. Vape. I'm vaping. This is watermelon. It's a bad habit. I don't know if it's any better for you than smoking or not, but don't smoke. Okay. Let's see here. Just gonna leave that for now. You're fine. Oh, I wasn't even working on her leg, was I? Sorry. My wife came down to get the dog. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I was like, don't worry about it. Stop the video. Let's just stitch it together. Ain't no biggie. Ain't nothing to get excited about. That's for sure. Sorry. Just pulling some of the cotton off of the Q-tip. Just need to get in a little bit tighter. Okay, I'm going to stare at it up here on the camera for a second. See if I'm liking where this is going. Yeah, it's going all right. I'm kind of digging it. I'll lighten this up. And just kind of like blend it on out into the shadow. Lighten this up. Like I said, I probably won't talk a whole lot all the way through this. Just not that interesting to have much to say, you know? I wish what I could be. Okay, I'm going to be right back because my dog does not have steps to get up onto the couch where her little blanket is that she likes to lay on. So, give me a chance to let you see one of my Christmas presents today, and I love it. So, Daisy, come here, girl. Hop on up there. There we go. All right. What did Emerald Lagasse used to say? We're really cooking here. Well, we're really painting here. And life is going on. Life happens. All right. So we're getting there. Things are starting to come together a little bit. All good. I did take my specs off here. Okay. Moving on. We're getting there. I promise. I think she's starting to come to life a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, we still have plenty more to go, but starting to get there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we can do here. know, I know these other sides are still in shadow, but I think they're still a little bit too dark. Okay. Yeah, I want to work a little bit on her hair. Now this is where I said I may have to use a little bit of medium just to lift some of this paint. I want to put some highlights in the hair, and it's kind of hard to do that sometimes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip my brush in my medium. Again, 65% linseed oil, 35% paint thinner. And I dipped my brush in there and I'm just wiping off the excess. Again, dip it in the medium, wipe off the excess. I heard someone say you could do this with paint thinner too, but I'm going to tell you something. I mean, like I said, I've got some paint thinner in there, but I would be careful with that. Straight paint thinner, man, oh man, it does not take much. So if you do it, just be careful. You can always add more. What did Bob say? Always add more. It's a son of a gun to take it away. Okay, cool. All right, now I'm going to go just straight into my burnt umber. No medium. Get a little bit on my brush. Now I'm going to put in some darker areas too. Really, you're going to have three things to look for. You need your mid-tone, your highlight, and your shadow. At least that's what she told me, and that seems to be the case. I'm telling you, I highly recommend Marion Dutton and Mazart Studios. I do believe. Come on. There you are. I do believe I might need my liner brush. and do something I said I wasn't going to do. Dipped it in a little bit of medium, very little. Okay, there we go. Is that gonna fit in there? Nope, it goes right through. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna sit back and ponder this thing for a moment. See what else I need to do. Vape a little bit. Give me a little drink of Diet Dr. Pepper. Like I said, the client wants this in color, which is fine. I did this. I kept it. My wife and I decided we wanted to keep it like this, and we did. And I told my wife, I want to try it again, but do it in color. Well, I have a client now who, this is what she has commissioned. She wants it also in color. And so here we go. But, like I had said earlier, I'm going to have to kind of go with my own colors here. You know, there is no one flesh tone. And so, kind of figure out the flesh tone. How pale or how dark is she? Do I want her to have a nice tan? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, like I said, I'm just thinking about colors. Right now, I don't have any set definite colors yet. But this underpainting isn't about the color. It's about the lights and the darks, the highlights and the shadows. That's what this is all about. Now, I have some marks here, some graphite, because what I do is I take it and just cover that in charcoal. I say graphite, it's charcoal. I cover it all in charcoal, put it over there and trace it all out. And so I have charcoal that was left here, but that's no problem. It's going to get covered up. I'm not real worried about that either. I have feathers drawn in just to kind of, you know, give me that feel, but they're going to get covered up too. So it's all good. Okay. Let's see here. First of all, wipe off the handle of your brush because when you laid it down and it fell into the paint. Okay. Honestly, I lost some dark in here. So I'll just put it back in. Right in here, this is going to be dark. This will be in shadow. I dropped my palette knife. Now as I'm blending that, I'm pulling some of that color onto her legs, so I'll need to touch up her legs, but that's okay. We got the folds of her garment right there. Right down here, there's going to be a shadow on her leg there. Pull that out. Right up in here on her head, right here where her hair parts is going to be dark, like a little triangular area, and then the part in her hair. There we go. I haven't even decided what hair color she's going to be. I'm thinking possibly a dark blonde. Putting a little more dark right in here, in her wings, where they kind of are back behind her. I think I'm going to bring this up more like to a point. I mean, not a point, but a point. Get the point? Ha ha ha! I'm so funny. I really couldn't decide how I wanted to do that because it doesn't really do it in my reference. I'm still not sure about it, but what's really cool about this technique is you have all these stages, and in any of those stages you can correct things that you don't really care for. So I think I'm going to go with that. We'll do the same thing over here. There's one dark color out here. Darken this up a little bit. Okay. Set that baby right there. And if you do this technique, here you will find yourself going back over things over and over and over that you've already done. And that's all right. That's all part of the process. I'll tell you what, I never dreamed I could do paintings like this before I ran across Mazart Studios and became a Mazart student. Now that's going to be kind of a darker shadow too. Right through here. I'm just kind of like going along the contours of a calf here. Just don't feel like I'm getting this over here right. That can be frustrating. But like I said, you have plenty of opportunities along the way to fix things. Okay. Just knocking that light area down just a buzz. Kind of blending together this light and dark right here. All right. Let me see if I can get this thing over here. You can see it a little better. Need to see that anymore. Take that off. And there it is. My client has not named it yet. I've not named it. And really, it's the client's painting, and she can name it whatever she wants. So there we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. However, quite honestly, I may tinker around with it. I'm just going to leave it on the easel, clean up a little bit, keep looking at it, tweak it here, tweak it there. And once I'm satisfied with it and this is all dry, it'll be time to put the first color layer on. So there you have it, underpainting. Now I'm gonna try, because this is actually 2 videos because my wife came down yelling for the dog and I stopped. So I want to try and splice them together and do a time lapse on this too. And if I can figure out how to upload this video to YouTube, I'll probably do that. I don't have anything on my YouTube channel really, except for, I think, my son's graduation from basic training. Wow, what year was that? 2011. So, yeah, that was a while ago. So anyways, there you go. There you have it. Take care. God bless. We'll see ya.